Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mimosa Fridays podcast, a show where we share powerful life lessons and a few laughs as Gail empowers others as she sits at the intersection of people, purpose, and politics while sipping on mimosas. Now grab some orange juice and champagne and welcome your host, Gail Dudley.
What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley with Mimosa Fridays. How are you? Yes, you have me again. I'm going solo today as we wrap up the year. After this podcast, we will not return until January, the first Friday in January. So I wanted to just come on here and give a special life look to talk about our goals, our plans that we set out in the beginning of 2021 and where we may be today. All right, y'all, but first I want to start with our mimosa. And this mimosa recipe comes from delish.com. This is the peppermint bark mimosas. Here are the ingredients you will need. And hear me, y'all, this will be a great mimosa to have during the week of December the 20th, leading up to Christmas or between Christmas and New Year's. This mimosa is amazing. It is called the Peppermint Bark Mimosa. So here are your ingredients. You need 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips melted. Y'all, it's so easy to put these in the microwave, but don't do that, y'all. Use a small pot on your oven and turn it down very low and take that 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips and melt them. Now, you want 3 candy canes crushed. You want those crushed to small pieces, itty bitty pieces. You want those 3 candy canes crushed. Now, the normal size, not the small ones that you get, but the normal size. Then you want 6 ounces of peppermint schnapps divided. 6 ounces of peppermint schnapps divided. You want a bottle of champagne. Now, if you want it version, which we understand, we always want to give this the version way as well. Instead of the bottle of champagne, you either want sparkling cider or soda water. By now, you know I'm not a soda water person, so you want that to be sparkling cider. And then you want 6 additional candy canes whole. So again, 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You're going to have that melted. I'll talk about that in a moment. 3 candy canes crushed, the regular size candy canes crushed to little itty bitty pieces. 6 ounces of peppermint schnapps divided. 1 bottle of champagne. If you're not doing it spiked, I always say spiked or not, then get either sparkling cider or soda water. And then you want 6 candy canes whole. Now, here are the directions. You're going to take the melted chocolate, the semi-sweet chocolate that you melted on the top of the oven on low. You want to take that and put it to a small plate. Now, you need to have everything already out because you do not want this chocolate to become cool or harden. So you still want to get this chocolate while it is hot. You're going to pour it onto a small plate. In a separate plate, and these can be saucer size. A separate plate, you're going to pour crushed candy canes onto a separate plate. Now, you're going to bring out 6 champagne flutes. You're going to do one of these at a time. You're going to take the champagne flute and turn it upside down and dip the rim of the champagne flute in first in the chocolate. Just dip it, sit it there for 2-3 seconds. You can swirl it around if you want to. And then you're going to take that same champagne flute and you're going to move it over to the saucer with the crushed candy canes to coat. Oh, can y'all see that already? You're going to do that with each of the champagne flutes. Then you're going to add 1 ounce of peppermint schnapps to each glass. And then you're going to top it with champagne or your sparkling cider or your soda water. You're going to garnish with the full candy canes before serving. I'm telling y'all, hands down, this is one of the best holiday mimosas out there. So take some time and enjoy it. Enjoy it. And if you do it with the adults with a bottle of champagne, you may want to make the same things for your children. under drinking age, of course, and use the sparkling cider or the soda water. Trust me, they'll like the sparkling cider over the soda water. That's just my bias. So there's your mimosa for the day. So let's talk about life look, your life evaluation of 2021. Your life evaluation of 2021. Now, to get started, I want you to either have your smartphone, your iPad, post-it notes, a sheet of paper, or a big poster board. If you have a whiteboard, that's fine too. And I want you to write out each of the goals you had set out to accomplish in 2021. Now, do what you can to stay away from talking about the pandemic. I want you to focus on your career, your business. If you're a mompreneur or mom in chief or dadpreneur or dad in chief, whatever that is, I want you to focus on what you specifically set out to accomplish. If you have set out to accomplish writing a book, or if you set out to accomplish doing a documentary, if you set out to accomplish to do some renovations of your home, if you set out to accomplish to lose some weight, if you set out to accomplish to increase your sales goal with your job, with your business, whatever it is, if you set out to start a podcast, if you set out to do a movie, a television show, whatever it is, write it down. Look at it. If you need to go get your journal from that you use in the beginning of the year, do that. One thing that is important, and so many people say, well, these are my this is what I hope to do. These are my New Year resolutions. Whatever. I want to talk about life goals. What are your goals? And every year we should set out having some sort of life goal. So what are your life goals? All right. So once you found that piece of paper, you have it in your head or wherever you may have it, I want you to follow these prompts and work through each goal and honestly write down what you actually accomplished, also what you semi-accomplished. And then I also want you to write down what you no longer have interest in accomplishing. I'll say that again. Now, I'm going to give you different prompts, and I want you to work through each goal and honestly write down what you actually accomplished in 2021, what you semi-accomplished in 2021, and then write down what you no longer have an interest in accomplishing. That is so important to know what you have no longer an interest in accomplishing. You're like, I'm not even feeling this anymore. It doesn't bring me excitement. It doesn't make my heart sing. I'm no longer interested in this. I want you to be honest and write these things down. All right, the first thing you're going to do, and again, whether you're just tuning in to take notes or you're sitting here actually writing this out, it's totally up to you. But on the left side of your paper, your smart tablet, your phone, whatever, and it's probably good to have paper. I'm going to just be honest with you. You can put this in your journal so that you can continue to flip back through that. That's fine. I want you to write down 2022 on the left-hand side. Underneath that, put goals. So 2022 goals. I want you to do first quarter. And each of these, you want to have no more than 2, maybe 3, but I really think 2 is sufficient. First quarter, then do 1, 2. Second quarter, underneath that, do 1, 2. Third quarter, same thing, do 1, 2. And then fourth quarter, same thing, do 1, 2. All right. Now that's for later. I just wanted you to write that down. That's for later. Now, with the goals that you set out to accomplish in 2021, I want you to take each of your goals, that you have actually accomplished and write out why you were able to accomplish each goal. I want you to look at the goals that you were actually able to accomplish and write a sentence or two as to why you were able to accomplish those. Now, I want you to be specific, such as stating if this was a goal that you were passionate about or something that you always wanted to accomplish, just something like that. Maybe it's just something that comes naturally to you. Whatever that is, I want you to take each goal that you actually accomplished and write out why you were able to accomplish each goal. As you're doing that, let me pause for a moment as you're writing to say this. What I am going through with you right now on this podcast is a part of a coaching session that I offer where we flesh everything out. But I want you to know this is my holiday/ Christmas gift to you. This right here that I'm going through in the short time, just giving you an overview, encouraging you to write this down, to look at it. I'm going to give you next steps and everything. I want you to know this is valued at $1,500. So please take what I'm sharing with you seriously. This is valued at $1,500. This is valued at $1,500. So what I am sharing with you, please take it seriously. This is my gift to you. This is my holiday, my Christmas gift to you as I am ending this year as of this episode, because then I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks, the week of December the 20th and then Christmas week with my family, and just breathe and read some books and enjoy life. If you're looking for a great book to read, check out Word Slut by Amanda Montell, Montell. Again, that book is called Word Slut. It is phenomenal. Check it out. That book link will be in the show notes. And yes, it is an affiliate link. I just want to share that with you. But hands down, that book is absolutely phenomenal. Now, if you also want to gather other PDFs and digital information that I post regularly, that always comes with a price tag, but I do it freely each month to the members on Patreon. That's the News in Motion members, the Mimosa Friday members. If you sign up to be a Patreon member, you will get all of that information on Patreon. You can go to www.patreon.com/newsinmotion. That's NEWSINMOTION. You sign up, you pick whichever membership you want to be a part of. You sign up for that. You get these kind of PDFs all the time. I promise you it's there. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Again, that link will also be in the show notes. All right. So if you've written that down, and I want you to be very specific as stating if this was a goal that you were passionate about or something you always wanted to accomplish, whatever. So you're going to take the goals that you actually accomplished and write out why you were able to accomplish each goal. Now, number 2, the second group, these are where you semi-accomplish things. I want you to take each of those and write those out, and then write why you were unable to complete each goal in its entirety. So y'all, we have to do some soul searching here. So, okay, you semi-accomplished this. Now I want you to go deep and identify why you were unable to complete each of these goals in this category in its entirety. Again, y'all, be specific. Start thinking about, if this was a goal suggested by someone else and that's why you thought you should do it. If it was something that truly was not important to you, share how you feel about these goals. Is it something that you saw on television or you saw on the internet or you saw on YouTube or you saw someone else doing and you thought, hey, I can do that. I want to do that. So I'm going to write this down as one of my goals. Okay, if you did that, fine, but just say why you did it. This is going to help you hone in on writing your goals for 2022. I'm telling you, hands down, I've helped hundreds of people with this, and it always makes a difference. And it helps them going into that next year. And y'all, we're not far away. We're 2 weeks away, depending upon when you're listening to this podcast. So again, you want to take each of those goals that you semi-accomplished, and you're going to write out why you were unable to complete each of these goals in its entirety. Again, y'all, be specific. Again, was it something that somebody else suggested to you? They thought you'd be great at it. You really didn't want to do it in the first place. You didn't have the motivation behind it. It really wasn't important to you. Write out your feelings behind this. What is this all about? For those of you, you're saying, okay, where am I? We have 3 categories. We have your first of all, we have your goals. I want you to find out where you logged your goals. And if you don't know where those are, you have to ask yourself even then, if I did not log my goals for 2021, why didn't I? Was I not that into it? Was it not that important to me? Why? And try with everything that you can. I know it's difficult not to look at the pandemic or the coronavirus or COVID-19 or the shots or politics or whatever. I want you to really think about you. I'll be honest, I had a goal to read one book every month. One book every month. And I started out with a bang. I semi accomplished this. I began reading, I still was reading books every month, but I was not completing them in its entirety. And I had to ask myself the question, why? And when I wrote down my reasoning, it was because I did not have the time to do it because I was doing so many other things. But that goal is so important to me. I'm having it in my 2022 goals, and I'm going to cut out some things or carve out time where all I do is read each day to make sure I'm getting through all of those books. I'm also including some fun books, books um, that are not in line with my news, my research, my philanthropy, the call of actions that I have going on. I'm going to read some books that are fun that will help me with self-care and stress release, that type of thing. And that could be another reason why I didn't complete some of those books in its entirety. So you see where I'm going there? You have to identify why. So you have your goals, wherever you have listed your goals, you want to get those, look at them, check them out. And then you have three categories. You have the goals that you actually accomplished, the you semi-accomplished goals, and then we're going to talk about things that are no longer interested in you. This is the third category. So you want to take each of the goals that you no longer have interest in accomplishing and write out why you have lost interest in these goals. Again, be very specific. Why did you lose interest here? Why? What was it? And again, I don't know what your goals are. And if we were doing a one-on-one session, I would hone in on to was this listed in the first place? And why now are you no longer interested? That is very important. So after you have all that written out, I want you to now take a life look. This becomes your motivation and really your success strategy for greater in 2022, regardless of the pandemic, because we're still in it. Okay, we're still in it. So what do I mean by life look? I want you to look back and evaluate. Again, you have those three questions I have. You actually accomplished, you semi-accomplished, and you no longer have interested in. So now I want you to put together a strategy. Now, from your answers, from 1, 2, and 3, from your answers, I want you to identify 2 goals for each quarter of 2022. You can do 3, but I really want you to just really stick with 2. So just pause for a moment and say, what are my goals here? Looking at your goals that you actually accomplished, do you have any other goals in line with that? Do you have any goals that are on the top of your mind that you want to write down saying in 2021, I want to accomplish these things? And then we're going to break them down into quarters. So whatever that is, I have 3 things. 2 I cannot speak of them right now because I'm working with an attorney to make sure we finalize everything. But there is a goal that I have, and that goal is that I want to become healthy. And how am I going to do that? Well, one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a trainer. I'm gonna have to invest in a trainer. That's number 1. The second thing I want to do, I want a specific life coach, and I have identified someone who's already helping me. We kind of got to jump on this back in October, and she is helping me. So I want to continue with that as well. So that one goal is that I want to become more healthy. I want to become healthier. That's what I want to do. Another goal that I have is that I really want to slimline what I'm doing with my media and production. And I'm now flushing that out. And I'm going to have a strategy session with a coach that I've hired to work through that. So that's another goal. So I want you to be thinking about it. I want to, when I talk about personal, I want to renovate the 2 bathrooms in my home. I want to get those renovated. I want those bathrooms changed out. I also want to get rid of the carpet that's on the floor. So those are two other things. Now those goals are then connected to, okay, I need to look at finances. I need to look at financials. How am I going to do that? That's another area, that's another avenue. And I have to build out that goal. So right now you're just kind of like brain dumping all the goals that you have. Just brain dump those out there. Just right. I know we don't have the completed time in this podcast to do this. When I work one-on-one with someone on this, it takes 90 minutes. And then we also have follow-up calls. So for the podcast, again, this is my gift to you, the holiday Christmas gift valued at $1,500. This is just the short time on the podcast. If I did the whole 90 minutes, it's more than that. But this is my gift to you of what I want to do. So brain dump, put everything on the paper. Write it down, post-it notes, use a whiteboard. You can get whiteboards from white poster boards from the Dollar Tree, and they're $1. Some things are now $1.25 there. Get that, get you some post-it notes and start writing on it. Put it in different categories, put it in different quarters, and just start writing, and then move the post-it notes around. Nothing has to be sound until you're ready to put everything in ink and sound and say, these are my 2022 goals. Okay, with that said, from your answers, identify the 2 goals for each quarter of 2022. And then I want you to identify 3 to 5 main goals for the entire year. So even after you write down the 2 goals for each quarter, that's a total of 8 goals. I then want you to identify 3 to 5 main goals for the entire year. I want you to place this on the poster board, someplace in your home, your screensaver, on your computer, whatever that is, so that you can pay attention to that. Something that you're always going to look at. So let me just real quick go to share with you what I call your strategic mapping plan, because you're going to use these goals to create your strategic mapping plan. Now, it is so easy to continue doing things the way you've always done them. However, you usually find yourself in the same position time and time again. I really want to stretch you today for this podcast. So y'all, this is a time of the year where we just want to erase the last 12 months, but we cannot erase it. We need this information to take us into 2022. So just take your time and work through this. Some of us want to go full speed ahead, but y'all, these upcoming 12 months, if you would just put out a strategy and strategically map out each quarter one at a time, it's going to make a great difference in your life. So even here's a question I want to ask you. What are those uncelebrated life-changing accomplishments hiding behind the curtain of your life? Yeah, I just gave you a whole lot. And I'm reading this off of my notes that I share in my session, because I actually give them serious PDFs and handouts. What are those uncelebrated life-changing accomplishments hiding behind the curtain of your life? Now, y'all, here's the truth. We usually focus on those things which really create hindrances instead of celebrating the wins. So y'all, we need to start celebrating every win. That's why I think it's so important for you to write this down. Now, let's not forget about the unnecessary baggage we carry as well. We got to get rid of some stuff. So dump it out, y'all. Let's get to the core of what it is that you are doing. So begin writing these things down. Again, paper, smartphone. I know you've already started writing down your goals, but I want you to also identify 5 things that must go out of your life. 5 things. 5. We all have more than 5. Let's identify 5. So let's just write them down. Now, after you write those things down, you should already feel a whole lot better, especially that you have said, okay, these are things I need to let go of. So you're making a statement by saying those things out loud. You're saying these things must go. Now, it's funny because when I'm doing the coaching sessions, people are saying, can this be people as well? Well, that's up to you. But there are at least 5 things, not people, that must go. Sometimes it is people that can go as well. Next, I want you to write down those things you know you want to accomplish. I don't want you to give much thought to it. Just start listing what comes to your mind. These are things that you know you want to accomplish. Whatever that is, just write it down. Just write it down. You may even have some anxiety right now writing those down, but just please write it down. Okay. This is how you're going to create your strategic map. Now, this is not about listing out any New Year's resolution. It's about setting life goals right now. On a quarterly basis. I need to make sure I'm stressing that on a quarterly basis for the next 12 months. When I'm talking about life look, you're taking a short view looking back on your life, but you're also going to pay attention and look forward. Okay. I also want you to reflect. Don't spend a lot of time here, but reflect on what held you back from some of your tasks and goals from 2021. What held you back? Again, try not to say the pandemic. I know that's hard, but try not to say the pandemic. Did people hold you back? Friends, family, coworkers, career, finances, whatever that is? To what degree? Was it overspending, debt, lack of savings, medical bills, anything like that? I want you to be honest. No one's looking at this but you. And this is going to help you. I promise you this is going to help you. Was it you? Did you hold yourself back? Were you spending too much time on social media pretending to be somebody that you're not? Were you spending so much time on social media becoming depressed, looking at everyone else, not knowing if what they were producing, if it was false or not? What was that? Anybody can throw out numbers. Anybody can say, I have 1 million followers. Are those numbers true? Seriously. And where do they come from? Were they bought followers? Were they organic followers? And I'm not hating on anybody that has those kind of numbers. That's great. But what about your engagement on social media? How can you engage with 1 million followers? Something to think about, y'all. Do you have low self-esteem? Were you busy people pleasing? Were you unable to say no? Were you filling up your calendar with all kinds of activities that do not add 1 ounce to your life? Was it relationships that you're in a fight with, health, school, career, whatever? When it comes to self, be honest, write down these things. Now, it's not until you stop becoming frustrated with yourself, and many of us can become frustrated. I know I've been there myself. Or we start avoiding things, that doesn't help. Or we place ourselves in isolation, that doesn't help. That we see how false our goals have been holding us back. We need to find a way to propel forward, to say, okay, let me start somewhere. So with my health, for example, I'm saying, let me start somewhere. Let me make a goal of exercising 5 days a week, even if it's 10 minutes. Let me not try to get to that 45 minutes or to the hour. Let me just move for 10 minutes. Let me not cut out sugar. Let me cut back on sugar. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? So the things that you want in your toolbox when you're doing this, a calendar, a board, you want that whiteboard. Again, it could be the poster board. Dollar Tree has them. You can buy 20 of them. It's $20, whatever. You want some colored pencils. You want some colorful Post-it notes. And you want to really dedicate about 12 hours to this. It takes about 12 hours, not 15 minutes, because you really want to engage. It's easy to throw some goals on the paper. It's something totally different to engage, to strategize with yourself. It's just you and your smartphone, your tablet, your iPad, your computer, paper, your journal, your board, and just flushing it out and writing it down. This is your invest in yourself to do this. Now you may want to say, okay, I don't want to do this in 12 straight hours. I want to do 2 hours a day, 2 hours tomorrow, whatever that looks like. The goal is to get it done. So I want you to start by thinking about 3 questions before moving forward. Question number 1, what's one big or small thing that puts a smile on your face? Okay. This is about you, not nobody else. So don't say your dog or your children or your spouse. No, what's one thing, big or small, that puts a smile on your face? The next question, what is one mistake, big or small, that you made that gave you pause. And then on paper, share the life lesson there. Share the life lesson there. Another thing is to ask yourself, is that mistake or are those mistakes the reason for why you have not continued with your goals? And then finally, number 3, what's one narrative or saying you are willing to release? And then even go further and say, why this narrative or why this saying? What narrative do you have about yourself that's holding you back? And it's time for you to release. Y'all, it's time to do this year in review. I'll call it a life look. Look back. Do an evaluation over 2021. These past 2 years have been difficult, but I still want you to zone in on you if at all possible. Again, I coach. I'm shutting down the week of the 20th and then the following week. So beginning Monday, December the 20th, I will get back into working on January the 3rd. So I'm available to do coaching. You can get all this started and say, hey, I need a coaching session the first part of January. You can go to www.bookwithgail, Gail, the period sign AS, A as in Apple, S as in Sam, .me, M as in Mary, E as in Edward. And then go to there, fill out a date. There's 1-hour sessions, there's 30-minute sessions, there's all types of things down there. But let's get this done. Y'all, it has been great doing the podcast with you all year. We had a small break. I believe it was May and June, but then we came back the end of July. And now we have a break that's coming up as well. But I have enjoyed it. Thank you for everyone who has downloaded Mimosa Fridays. At one point, this was called Something in Mimosas. Earlier in the year, we changed it to Mimosa Fridays. And you're like, what is that? Mimosas, the NIM stands for News in Motion. And news is noteworthy information. What I just provided to you has been noteworthy information. MOSA, M-O-S-A, that comes from mimosas. I used to have a saying on the News in Motion weekday live stream. I called it Mimosa Fridays. So that's where this podcast came from, Mimosa Fridays. So I'm giving you noteworthy information. Thank you so much for downloading, for sharing the podcast, for subscribing to the podcast. I am extremely grateful. Hopefully this gift, this holiday gift that I shared with you today is going to make a difference in your life. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember to make some bold moves. I look forward to seeing you in the new year. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa to you. If you celebrated Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah to you. I cannot wait to see you in the new year. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. I am your host, Gail Dudley. This has been the final podcast of Mimosa Fridays for 2021. We are so excited and geared up for 2022, and we're going to have some amazing guests. If you want to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us. You can reach out to info, the period sign Gail Dudley, that's Gail, D as in David, U, D as in David, Ley, at gmail.com. And we will send you the form for you to complete to see if you will be a guest that is perfect for Mimosa Fridays. Y'all, stay safe out there. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year. I can't wait to see you in the new year.
Are you ready to raise awareness of your brand, product, or service? Gail, the host of News in Motion and Mimosa Friday podcast, is an influencer who brings attention to every product she mentions. She started out with a few followers and is growing her base daily. Listeners, tune in Monday through Friday from around the U.S. and beyond. Let Gail help you expand and connect with new customers from all around. To get your brand, product, or services mentioned on her shows, just contact info.gaildudley@gmail.com to request her media deck. Catch Gail each weekday on News in Motion on Facebook Live at facebook.com/newsinmotion or her YouTube at youtube.com/Gail Dudley. You can also follow Gail on Instagram and Twitter at Gail Dudley and visit her website, www.gaildudley.com. Until next week, as Gail always signs off, stay well and remember to make some moves.